Ethan is obsessed with Hasan, but Hasan barely seems to care about this. And let's take a look here, because obviously Ethan has been pearl clutching a lot about anti-Semitism, but seemingly he doesn't care much about Islamophobia. Weird.
Shocker.
Today, my friends, we are going to play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're going to play, is it Twitch or is it a terrorist? Let's take a look here, guys. Today, my friends.
Bro, what the this is some Mark Zuckerberg shit. That's some like 2004, I'm racist as I'm making fun of somebody. Like, you are just a full-on right-wing propagandist for Israel at that point. Like, you're just making racist content. Like, you've gone Sam Harris. You've gone off the deep end. That's crazy. That's deranged. Fuck Ethan Klein, dude.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because in our last discussion about this, I remember saying, like, is it just me, or does Ethan sound like he's kind of couching this attack on Hasan in a sort of racial way? Like, it almost sounds like he's implying that Hasan is like a terrorist or something, just because he's a guy of Muslim background who happens to criticize Israel. This proves it. This is not subtle at all. In fact, I would say that this joke from Ethan is far more problematic, far more racist, far more Islamophobic than anything Hasan has ever said about Jewish people, period. Like, how can you pearl clutch about fake anti-Semitism when you're going to then go do real Islamophobia? Like, what, are you just admitting that you think Muslim people are lesser than Jews? You care so much about this form of bigotry, but you don't care at all about this form of bigotry that you're in fact willing to perpetrate? Like, what kind of
it's almost like he believes there should be an ethno state. It's almost like he believes apartheid is justified and warranted. It's almost like he believes that Jewish people are better than Arabic people. It's almost like he thinks they're better than Muslim people. And it's not almost kind of like that. It is exactly like that. That's how he's behaving. And it's crazy and it's wrong. And it's not the way most Jewish people feel.
But let's take a look at Hasan's response to this clip that went pretty viral, the one we just played for you guys. Hasan clapping back. My former podcast co-host misunderstood me when I said in America that anti-Semitism is institutionally unacceptable, but Islamophobia is permitted, if not encouraged. Yesterday, he proved my point. Pretty hard to argue with that. I mean, come on, Ethan. Like, what are you doing? Again, if you're going to try to do this whole, like, virtue signal tour, I'm an SJW now, and I'm going to pearl clutch over edgy jokes. That's Ethan's new thing. I'm the manager. I'm going to call the manager on you for making an edgy joke one time.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've said that women should be raped.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've said a million things, and now I'm going to continue to say a million things that are incredibly problematic, incredibly offensive. And guess what? Zach? I still wouldn't advocate that Ethan Klein gets banned from any platform for doing this. Sorry, but yeah, this is discourse. Sometimes it does get ugly, and as vile as I think Ethan is being here, I'm actually principled. I'm not going to freaking start calling up YouTube to try to get his contract, broken. I'm not going to try to get him fired like he's been relentlessly trying to do to Hasan and everyone else who doesn't just uncritically support Israel, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, what is there even left to say about Ethan other than that his brain is like scrambled eggs at this point, right? Like, I mean, I was really young after 9/11. So was Gavin. I was 3 years old. I still have some really potent memories of the aftermath of it. I remember my mom's best friend's family was from Long Island, New York. And a lot of the firemen from all over the broader New York metropolitan area, they had to all go work at Ground Zero. And I remember this guy's name was Rusty. And I remember that this dude was like discussed as if he was like a god, as if he was like Jesus Christ at that time, right? And then, how horrible it was and how it made people just like, my mom started taking us to church after 9/11, right? Like, we started that the born again Christian thing was going on, and all these kinds of mobilizers. It broke people's brains that America could be like that
Because
because
Jesus was returning.
a lot of
day.
people did, dude. I'm not even kidding. I mean, what was that book that Matt Taibbi wrote back then, The Great Derangement? And I mean, man, that was back when Taibbi was waxing. He went and would stay with a bunch of like born again Christians and, you know, talk about them and all that kind of shit. But anyway, long story short is, I think this is what happened to a lot of people in America. I think Ethan is a case study for what we would have seen from people who are our parents' age in the aftermath of 9/11. And so we look back and we're like, how did you guys get on board with the killing of 1 million Iraqis? How did you guys get on board with, you know, going to 7 wars with Barack Obama? How did you guys just let this all happen? How did you cheerlead for this? And the reality was, after 9/11, their brains were turned to scrambled eggs, and they were just like ready to rah jingo this. We hate France because they don't want to go down this rabbit hole with us, etc. The world's against us, rah, and whatever propaganda a lot of Israelis or global Zionists are consuming, I imagine Ethan is consuming, and it's continuing to make him feel like it's him against the world, standing up for all Jews. And obviously that's not the case. Obviously what he's doing is he's being misled into supporting a deranged ethnic cleansing and advocating for, you know, not just a caste system, but a racial hierarchy. But I think that's kind of, if we like take a step back, we can examine that that's happening to this guy in real time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I don't even really think he's winning the war. Like, I don't think that he's had much success. He has to turn off the comment section every time he posts a video about Hassan. I'm not even kidding. On the H3 channel or on Ethan Klein's personal channel, whenever he posts a video addressing Hassan, he has to literally turn the comments off. Why? Because if he doesn't, people are immediately going to point out how dishonest he's being. Over and over again in these videos, he's resorting to straight up lies and smears, guys, over and over. The other day, they played some clip of Hassan talking about how powerful AIPAC is. And they were unironically trying to say that, oh, this is Hassan saying the Jews control everything. The Jews control America. Because he's willing to acknowledge the immense influence of AIPAC in our government. Like, that's no difference than liberals used to love to talk about the NRA, right? Oh, the NRA is so powerful. The NRA controls politicians. Yeah, guess what? They were right. AIPAC does the same thing, but they don't just own Republicans. They own Democrats and Republicans. So sorry, what do you want us to not acknowledge that? What do you want us to not talk about it? Oh, sorry, Zach, we can't acknowledge corruption in our government anymore when it's coming from a foreign government because of the fact that Jewish people have historically been oppressed. Like, what the, like, this is just some post-reality SJW bullshit logic. Oh, sorry, you're not allowed to talk about that form of corruption because it has to do with the marginalized peoples. Oh, like, what the